When dealing with verbs, remember that verbs will have tense, voice, mood, in addition to person and number. We've already so far we've only dealt with the active voice, that is where the subject is doing the action, and we've only dealt with the indicative mood. This is the storytelling mood. And now, after the present and the future tense, we've got the imperfect tense. And the definition of the imperfect tense is that it's a progressive action in the past. That is, it's a past tense, but it's ongoing. So, in English, I was walking, or I used to walk. Just as a review, the present tense, remember, has the present stem, that first principal part, plus what we call the primary endings. Luo, lues, lue, luomen, luete, luusin. O, es, e, omen, ete, usin on the present stem. The future, remember, had the present stem plus that sigma tense marker, and then again the primary endings. So the sigma is what told us this is the future. Also remember, we could have just used the second principal part to form the future. The imperfect also has markers to tell us that this is the imperfect tense. This time, though, it's going to be an epsilon augment, and later we'll see that there's such a thing as temporal augment. But when the stem begins, that is the present stem, we're going to use the present stem for this. The present stem begins with a consonant. Then all we have to do is add an epsilon to that stem at the beginning of the stem to tell us, this is past tense. And in fact, all Greek past tenses in the indicative will use an augment. And then we're also going to use what are called secondary endings. So what we're going to see is that we've got on the present stem, which tells us that it's ongoing action, we're going to have an epsilon augment, so present stem, epsilon augment, and this new set of endings. Not O, ace, A, but a new set. So let's take a look at this set. We're going to again use eluo, our luo. We've got our epsilon augment, our present stem, first principal part, and then our ending. So eluon, elues, and notice the accent is going to be on the epsilon here because you've gone 1, 2, 3. Elues, you used to free, set free. Elue, we've got the movable nu. And all of these have this epsilon augment, present stem, and the secondary endings. Eluomen, notice the accent is shifted a little bit because it can only go back 3 syllables, but we still have our augment, present stem, ending. Eluete, and eluon, augment, stem, secondary ending. Now, if you've been paying attention, the first person singular and the third person plural are identical. Context will tell you what's going on, whether it's I was setting free or they were setting free. Okay. The third person plural may have a stated subject. So again, we've got eluon, elues, elue, or eluen, eluomen, eluete, eluon. And that's the imperfect indicative active. When you see this epsilon, you know you're in the past tense. You're using the present stem, and so you've got ongoing action in the past. Eluon, elues, elue, eluomen, eluete, eluon.